Hi, wonderful students. So this is just a quick overview of your assignment for your exploratory essay planner. So for your exploratory essay, what you're going to be doing is essentially just exploring your topic, okay? If you look over here in what is an exploratory essay in week 2, what you're going to see is you're going to see a description of the information that you're going to be discussing in this essay, all right? So the purpose of the essay overall is going to make sure that you're writing a 3 to 4 page essay, and it's going to do just a couple of things. One, you're going to be finding 2 articles. One has to be from a Delaware Tech database, and you're going to be writing an essay in APA format that tells me a couple of things. One, you're going to tell me what the issue is all about in your introduction. Then you're going to summarize and evaluate each of those articles, and then you're going to reflect on your future research and goals. So remember, I told you we're going to be doing this process step by step. You're not making any arguments yet. You're just finding information that's going to help you kind of establish that this is something that is researchable and something that is absolutely debatable. So let's then take a look at how we get to this final essay, okay? Now, before we go there, I just want to point out there is a sample for you. So if you have not read the sample is awesome. It goes directly with the planner, and so it kind of tells you everything that you need, and it gives you a goal of the information that you're going to be using and that you're going to be discussing throughout this essay. So make sure that you read it first so you know where you're headed and what direction you're going to be moving toward as you complete this planner. Now, let me share with you what we're doing then for our progress checkpoint, or what we call the English 102 planner for your exploratory essay. So you're going to find 2 articles that just give you information about your research question. It can be background, it can be sides, it can be definitions, it can be whatever it is that's happening in the debate. Okay, it's whatever you think is going to start helping you in this process. Okay. Now, one of them must be from one of the Delaware Tech databases. So if you're not finding information on the database, you have to change your question right now. All right, now, what I would do is I would print or have an electronic copy and annotate both articles, because you're going to use those annotations in order to then complete this planner. All right, you are going to then use all of this information, okay, these pages, in order to then build this planner, all right? So what does it look like? Let's take a look. When we look at the exploratory planner, okay, what it does is it goes in order of the sample. So you can actually print these out and put them side by side and see how it all works together. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at at my feedback on your discussion board, okay? So if I told you that you need to revise and reply, I hope you already did that. But if I told you that you need to do a little bit of revision, like maybe tighten it up a little bit, this is where you want to do that. Then what you're going to see is you're going to see a bunch of questions here. And essentially, from your reading and your own knowledge, I want you to choose 4 different questions, and I want you to make sure that you're answering them in bullet points, okay? So whatever 4 you want, doesn't matter to me, highlight them and then throw some bullet points and answer them underneath. This is going to be your introduction, okay? Then I want you to take a look and create your thesis statement. Your thesis statement, where do I find out where to do that? Well, in week 2, when I go into exploratory research, this module, right here, there's a module on creating a thesis in exploratory essays. So read it, follow the example, and go ahead and put it right in your sample. Your thesis is your most important sentence in the entire essay, so make sure that you get this one right. Then what I want you to do is I want you to actually start to bullet your ideas. So take your annotation from your first source, write out your first sentence for your summary, and then go ahead and take your annotations, combine them together, and tell me what the main ideas are of that first article, okay? How can you figure out how to do that? Well, it's pretty simple. If you go into week 1, there is a summary review page that tells you exactly how to annotate, how to chunk the information together, how to put together your ideas, okay? How to take a look and find all of the main ideas, all right? And kind of how to put it all together in order to create some information, all right? In order to start to plan your summary. Now, remember this is a planner, so I'm not looking for full sentences. The only full sentence I want to see in this section is your introductory sentence, as well as maybe the article's conclusion. You might want to write that one out. In the middle, I just want to see your annotations combined. The more information you put here, the better off. I always say err on the side of caution and put more in, because then you can combine and then put them together in a solid summary. Remember that your summary is going to be about this long. So take a look. We've got a solid half a page to a 3/4 page summary here. So all of the information that you put in here by the end of the week, then you'll be using in your essay here. All right. You'll do that for your first source. You'll do that same exact thing for your second source. Okay. The other thing that you're going to be doing for this essay is also making sure that you're evaluating it. So, do you have to pick an article that you're absolutely going to use? The answer is no. If you find that you've read it and you're like, this is a terrible article, you can still use it and write about it. Just get rid of it for later on. But for the purposes of this essay, it's an exploratory essay. So you want to make sure that you're evaluating it and using your critical thinking skills to make sure that you're putting it all together. So how do we evaluate? All right, we're going to do the CRAP test. So essentially, you're going to write out your topic sentence. I've given you the question right here, and I've given you a sample of what it should look like. So essentially, what is the topic of the first article? Okay, what is this article kind of all about? Then what you're going to do is you're going to give me information about the CRAP test. Notice, again, these are just bullet points. These are not written out sentences. We're just putting the ideas out there, okay? In this area, you're going to be evaluating according to the CRAP test. Don't remember what the CRAP test is? Guess what? There's a page for that. Right here in week 2, you have, CRAP test. And so essentially what it does is it takes you right through all of the information so that you can remember exactly how to do this and how to create the information. You can also find information in week 1 as well. So if you want to look in week 1, you can also take a look at exploring research. This is going to help you as well. And it takes you through the CRAP test through videos here. So you can kind of take a look and see how it works. So you're going to use the CRAP test. And what I want to see in this is I want you to really evaluate it. Go into the actual publication. Remember, SIRS, Credo, EBSCO are databases. They are not publications. So make sure that you're going into the actual place where you found it so that you're able to answer things like relevancy and authority and accuracy, okay? Make sure you go through all of these and just give me bullet points. You might want to give me an example or two. In fact, I would encourage you to give me an example or two directly from your text, because you're going to have to give me an example because we're doing it in CSET format anyway when you go to write our essay over here, okay? So over here in our essay, what I did was I actually highlighted where it says currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, purpose, right? All of that information that's here then in your planner in this second area here, I want to make sure that I see examples. I want to really see some thought here. The other part is this. You're going to tell me what the strengths and weaknesses are of the article and then how you might want to use it in your essay. Are you married to these ideas? No, but I want to see you really thinking about what this article might do for you, okay? So remember, it's an exploratory essay, meaning we're exploring the ideas. By the time you get down to the second source, you'll do that again, go through the crop test, and then you'll reflect. I want to see some bullet points here as well, okay? So that I really see you thinking through these questions and where you need to go next. Hopefully the articles that you chose are going to point you in a direction like, uh-oh, I really don't know this at all, and I've got to find some more background in history. Or maybe you're like, dude, I have so much information now. Now I'm ready to move forward and start to really find some of the arguments. This is what I want to know here, all right? Really reflect on the process so that you can move forward. Finally, you are going to actually write your references page, okay? So there should be 2 references there. Remember, one of them is from a Delaware Tech database. And please do not make me write this comment on your paper, but I probably will at some point. Here's the thing, guys. In our table of contents, what you're going to notice is that we have an APA resources area right here, okay? So right here, you have a page that states how to cite a database, okay? So when you go through and are looking to see how to do your database, you can see what you can do or what you should be doing and the information that you should not be doing. What you can also see in here is in our APA resources. If one of your articles is not from a Delaware Tech database, you can see how to set it up, how to do an in-text citation, because you'll need it on your planner. And then you can also use our APA references guide. This guide, I always tell my students, is not something that you need to memorize, but it's something that's in every course that you can actually use for later on. All right, everybody, so that's what you need to do for your planner. I hope that this helped. I know that this was long, put it on double time. And remember, make sure that you do a good job on this planner. Put as much effort as possible in there so I can give you some feedback and you can make the adjustments before you write your essay coming up this week. All right, everybody, good luck. Reach out if you need me. Take care.